Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so happy that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are discussing my 5-star predictions. So for this video, I have about 15 books that I think are going to be 5 stars. And I want to talk about those with you and kind of talk about why I think those are going to be 5 stars, because I want to eventually, once I read all of these books, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I want to come back and do a reaction to this video because I really want to hone in on what my taste is, what I like in books, what I don't like in books. I mean, I feel like I have a decent idea, but I just feel like sometimes I'm all over the place and I like things that I don't think I'm gonna like, or I don't like things that I think I'm gonna like. So in an effort to try to get to know my reading taste a little bit more and also branch out a little bit, I decided to kind of document this journey and see how well I know my own reading taste. So without further ado, it's gonna be a lot of yapping, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I think is going to be a 5-star for me is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. And I think I'm going to read just a little bit of the synopses just so you kind of get a feel for the book, and then I'll talk about what I think I'm gonna like about the book. Human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always guard your heart. And this is about the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king. Aurea carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. So here's the thing. I am a vampire girly. I'm a vampire girly and I'm a witch girly. So with this being about vampires, there's an automatic in for me. And then this also has what's called the Kajari, which is a tournament. And I love a tournament / trial type situation. We're fighting to the death. Like, I think I'm going to be a fan of that. And it also sounds like this is going to be a little bit of enemies to lovers, which is one of my favorite tropes. I am an enemies to lovers girly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about this book that I'm gonna love. But that's enough about this book because it is heavy and it's hurt my wrist. So I'm gonna put it down now and move on. Next up, we have Rosewater by Liv Little, and this is a contemporary literary fiction book. And I dabble in literary fiction, and I usually enjoy it. But I would not just, go out and say that I'm a lit fic reader. But it is, one of the main categories. I think it's one of the genres that I'm really trying to find, where I fit in with, because some of them I like and some of them I don't. So I'm trying to figure out what that is that I actually like about literary fiction. So let's read a little bit of the synopsis. Elsie is a sexy, funny, and fiercely independent woman in South London, but at just 28, she is also tired. Though she spends her days writing tender poetry in her journal, her nights are spent working long hours for minimum wage at a neighborhood dive bar. Not even sleeping with her alluring co-worker B can quell her existential dread. The struggle of being estranged from her family and fear of never making money doing what she loves is too great. Still, Elsie is determined to keep the faith for a little longer at least. Things can surely turn around. They have to. And I think what kind of really intrigued me about this book is that it is a queer Black woman who's 28, and I am also 28 for a little while longer anyway, and just going through life and trying to figure out and trying to do what she loves, but fearing that she won't make any money from it. And I think even though I'm not in the exact same place in life, I think that I can really relate to this, and I can see some similarities between me and Elsie. So I think that is why I was originally drawn to this book, and we'll see if it hits and if I actually connect to it or not. And then we have This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings, and this is coming out in the month of August. Super excited for this new release. And this is the first book in a decadent fantasy duology set in Jazz Age Harlem, where at night the dance halls come to life and death awaits in the dark. It's 1926, and Reapers, the once human vampires with a terrifying affliction, are on the rise in New York. But the Saint family's thriving Reaper hunting enterprise holds reign over the city, giving them more power than even the organized criminals who run the nightclubs. 18-year-old Elise Saint, home after 5 years in Paris, is the reluctant heir to the empire. Only one thing weighs heavier on Elise's mind than her family obligations: the knowledge that the Harlem Reapers want her dead. Layla Quinn is a young Reaper haunted by her past. Though Reapers have existed in America for 3 centuries, created by New World atrocities and cruel experiments, Layla became one just 5 years ago. The night she was turned, she lost her parents, the protection of the Saints, and her humanity, and she'll never forget how Elise Saint betrayed her. Some Reapers are inexplicably turning part human again, leaving a wake of mysterious and brutal killings. When Layla is framed for one of these attacks, the Saint Patriarch offers her a deal she can't refuse: to work with Elise to investigate how these murders might be linked to shocking rumors of a Reaper cure. Once close friends, now bitter enemies, Elise and Layla explore the city's underworld, confronting their intense feelings for one another and uncovering the sinister truth about a growing threat to Reapers and humans alike. Period. Enemies to lovers, forced proximity. We have some vampires. We have a queer story. This is Black Jazz Age Harlem, the 1920s. Like, what else do you need? 5 stars. 5 stars. Super excited about this. I don't even have anything else to say. Like that's enough. Yeah. So this one is a little bit of a wild card for me, for sure. But I was interested in this book as soon as I heard about it, and I just, want to read it. And I don't know why, but whatever. And that is How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. And this, I am usually not a mystery thriller reader. I tried to dabble in them, and some of them I like, and some of them, most of them, I just could care less, to be completely honest. But I will say that one that has really stuck with me, and one that I'm trying to find more of the vibes of, was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Yes, I'm looking at it right there. Benjamin Stevenson. I really love that and how he told that story. And so I think with me, as far as thriller and mysteries, it has to have like a little weird edge to it, like be a little quirky. And that is what will get me, interested in it. So it's 1965, and teenage Frances Adams is at an English county fair with her 2 best friends. But Frances's life takes a hairpin turn when a fortune teller makes a bone-chilling prediction. One day, Frances will be murdered. Frances spends a lifetime trying to solve a crime that hasn't happened yet, compiling dirt on every person who crosses her path in an effort to prevent her own demise. For decades, no one takes Frances seriously, until that is nearly 60 years later, when Frances is found murdered. In the present day, Annie Adams has been summoned to a meeting at the sprawling country estate of her wealthy and reclusive great aunt Frances. But by the time Annie arrives in the quaint English village of Castle Knoll, she finds that Frances is already dead. Annie is determined to catch the killer, but thanks to Frances's lifelong habit of digging up secrets, it seems every endearing and eccentric villager might just have a motive for her murder. So I think this is really, really cool and really weird, and it's gonna be something that is different, and it also gives cozy. And here's the thing about me: I'm a cozy bitch. Like, whatever is giving cozy, I'm most likely going to be a fan of. And so I think that this is going to be pretty cool. But it also doesn't give spooky, because here's the thing about me: I'm also scary as hell. Like, no, I just don't want to be scared. Like, who wants to be scared for fun? Like, not me. No thanks. So I'm hoping that this won't be terribly scary, and it'll be something that's fun and a little weird, something I can get behind. Speaking of cozy things, we have our next pick, and that is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. And this gives cozy, and I've heard this compared to Legends and What's a latcha? Is that a mix of a latte and a matcha? Anyway, let's try that again. This has been compared to Legends and Lattes, which I really loved. That was a 5-star rating for me, and I feel like this could give me those similar vibes. So it says, all Raina and Chianti want is to open a bookshop that serves tea while firelight drifts between the rafters. But Raina works as one of the Queen's private guards, and Chianti is the most powerful mage in existence. Leaving their lives isn't so easy. But after an assassin takes Raina hostage, she decides she's thoroughly done with risking her life for a self-centered queen. Meanwhile, Chianti has been waiting for a chance to flee responsibility. All the better that her girlfriend is on board. Together they settle in Tawny, a town nestled in the icy tundra near Dragon Country, and open the shop of their dreams. What follows is a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen throwing the realm's biggest temper tantrum while these two women discover just what they mean to each other and the world. And does that not sound like the cutest thing to me? Like, ugh, I really just feel like I'm gonna eat this up, mainly because I did love Legends and Lattes, but I also love this cover. Like, this cover gives me cozy, this cover gives me warm, this cover gives me a good time. And so I think I'm gonna really enjoy this, and I that's all I gotta say. Next we have The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest, and I think I'm gonna love this for a couple of reasons, but I'm gonna read the synopsis first. I was getting ahead of myself. Shy, bookish, and admittedly awkward Lily Green has always felt inadequate compared to the rest of her accomplished family who strives for Black excellence. She dreams of becoming a children's book editor, but she's been frustratingly stuck in the nonfiction division for years without a promotion in sight. Lily finds escapism in her correspondence with her favorite fantasy author, and what begins as two lonely people connecting over email turns into a tentative friendship and possibly something else Lily won't let herself entertain, until he ghosts her without a word. Months later, Lily is still crushed, but she is determined to get a hold of her life, starting with finding a date to her sister's wedding. And the perfect person to help her is Nick Brown, her charming, attractive new neighbor, who she feels drawn to for reasons she can't explain. But little does she know, Nick is an author, her favorite fantasy author. And that did it for me. Like, what do you mean we have two bookish people? Like, first of all, I love books about books, and then I love books about Black bookish people on top of that, and then we're getting emails, so it's probably going to be a little bit of mixed media, and we're exchanging emails back and forth, and she doesn't know who he is, and I feel like I'm going to eat this up. This has my name all over it, and but I just really feel like this is going to be 5 stars for me, and I am super excited to read it. I just have to make myself read it. Next, we have The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, and this is giving me Emily Wilde vibes. And even though Emily Wilde wasn't a 5-star for me, I loved it. So this says, rival ornithologists hunt through England for a rare and magical bird in this historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but with Maynard's tea and helicopter parasols. Beth Pickering is on the verge of finally capturing a rare death whistler bird when Professor Devin Lockley swoops in, capturing both her bird and her imagination like a villain. Albeit a handsome and charming villain, but that's beside the point. As someone highly educated in the ruthless discipline of ornithology, Beth knows trouble when she sees it, and she is determined to keep her distance from Devin. For his part, Devin has never been more smitten than when he first laid his eyes on Professor Beth Pickering. She's so pretty, so polite, so capable of bringing down a fiery, deadly bird using only her wits. In other words, an angel. Devin understands he must not get close to her, however, since they are professional rivals. When a competition to become Birder of the Year by capturing an endangered bird is announced, Beth and Devin are forced to team up to have any chance of winning. Now keeping their distance becomes a question of one bed or two, but they must take the risk because foul play is a loot and they can't trust anyone else. For all may be fair in love and war, but this is ornithology. Y'all. This is this is me. This is my lane. Like, and I didn't even realize that this was my lane, but I think this is. So we have like a historical romantic fantasy. It's going every time. Like, that just sounds so freaking cute. Ugh, I can't. It's also giving me a little bit of half a soul too. Like, I just think this is gonna be so cute. It's gonna be funny. We love a good rom-com. Like, I grew up watching rom-coms, so I love reading them now, and I just feel like this is gonna give me all the cute, giggly, funny vibes, but also like with the background of ornithology. It's gonna be a little nerdy too, and I mean, like, that's just me. That's me. So I am very excited and hopeful that this will be a 5-star for me. Now look, please don't judge me, y'all. I know that I've had this channel for a month, and I know that y'all are already tired of hearing me talk about this book. Like, just read the book. Like, I know I'm judging myself, but I don't know why I can't just read the book. And that book is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. Y'all, this has been in so many videos already, and it's like, girl, just pick the damn book up. Just read it. Like, what are you doing? And yes, I know I want to, but I'm scared. Why? Hell, I don't know. I don't know if I've heard it's weird, and I'm weird, and I like weird things, but I'm also like, I've heard that this is confusing, and I've heard that you just gotta roll with it, and you just gotta ride with it, and you just gotta let it happen. But I'm also one of those people that are kind of like, but why? I have two modes: head empty, no thoughts, we just rolling with it. And then I have why? Why? Explain. So I'm just terrified. I'm gonna read this book in one of my like explain moods, and then I'm gonna be not feeling it. Like, I am so scared to not like this book. I think that's what it is. Maybe we just work that out of my brain. Like, it's just, the setup is so perfect for me. Listen to this. The emperor needs necromancers. The ninth necromancer needs a swordswoman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead nonsense. Tamsyn Muir's Gideon the Ninth unveils a solar system of swordplay, cutthroat politics, and lesbian necromancers. What do you mean? What do you mean, lesbian necromancers? What do you mean, dirty magazines? What do you mean, cutthroat politics? That sounds like Aaron. That sounds like Aaron. I hope it is. Like, and I just have to stop myself because I keep hyping this book up, and this should be a 5-star. And I'm hoping that it is, and I'm terrified that it isn't. And that's all I can say. Next is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen, and this is a book that is supposed to be coming out in September, but I think I'm gonna eat this up. Listen to this. Percy Jackson for adults meets The Hunger Games with a slow burn romance between a contestant and Hades himself. Every 100 years, the gods toy with us mere mortals, and we let them. The gods of myth are alive and well. Once every century, they select a new ruler in a cutthroat competition, pushing mortal players to the limit. But this year, Hades is done sitting on the sidelines, and he's picking a champion no one expects. In this modern mythic romantasy, she'll fight for her life for the god of death. Wait. Look, I don't know nothing about Percy Jackson, but I love the Hunger Games, and I also love Hades. Hear me out. I was always really interested in Greek mythology when we were growing up in school. I just thought it was really cool and something, you know, with so much history behind it and all of that. As an adult, I enjoy these Greek myth retellings, and my favorite ones have been of Hades and Persephone, and I don't know what it is about Mr. Hades, but you know. But yeah, slow burn. I'm kind of iffy on slow burn because sometimes I'm like, if y'all don't get this over with, like, quit drawing it out. But then other times I'm like, yes, the tension, the angst, give me more. Oh my gosh, it's not slow enough. So I don't really know how I feel about slow burn, but this feels like something that I'm really going to enjoy. It seems like a fun time. And one thing about me in reading books, I'm not necessarily reading for the best literature all the time. A lot of times I just want to have fun. If a book can make me have fun and it's not the best written, like 5 star. 5 star. Okay. So this next book I've actually had on my shelves for a while, and I've seen, I picked it up because I saw Olivia Reads a Latte read it and really enjoy it. And then more recently, I have seen Erin from Booked and Busy pick up the entire series and love it. I don't know why it's still sitting on my shelf unread. I could say that about a lot of books on my shelves. So anyway, that is This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. I think it just sounds so cool, and it sounds like something that I could really enjoy. So let's read about it. I already know I'm gonna butcher these character names, so don't judge me. To all the world, Alisaie is a disposable servant, never to be known for who she really is. The long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom. She is hunted always, forced to hide in plain sight, lest she expose herself to danger. Until one day she makes a mistake. The Crown Prince Cameron has heard the prophecies. He knows of the fearsome monster promised to kill his king. Darkness is fast descending upon his empire, driving Cameron to desperately seek out its source. But as he grows ever more suspicious of the servant girl with the strange eyes, the more he learns about her, and the harder it is to turn away, even if falling for someone like Alisaie means forfeiting everything he's ever known. This Woven Kingdom is a story of clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen who must claw her way through darkness to reclaim her throne, rebuild her kingdom, and save her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live. What? What? This sounds so good. Like, why haven't I read this? Like, this needs to happen. Forbidden romance, clashing empires, like, reading all these synopses are like amping me up, and like, I need to read these books now. Like, what do you mean? These all sound so good, and I'm just getting even more excited about reading them. But yes, this definitely needs to happen soon. Then we have Immortal Dark by Taija Skirma. And this is a cruel prince meets Ninth House in this dangerously romantic dark academia fantasy where a lost heiress must infiltrate an arcane society and live with the vampires she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. That alone, like that I mean, dark academia, yes. Vampires, yes. Secret societies, yes. What? Orphaned heiress Kaiden Adane grew up far from the arcane society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister June disappears, Kaiden is convinced a vampire stole her, the very vampire bound to their family, the cruel yet captivating Zasenyos Sagad. Yeah, so I think this is going to be really cool. Black vampires, always a fan of. Secret societies, always a fan of. Dark academia, always a fan of. Like, it's just adding up. Like, the buzzwords are just adding up, and it's adding up to a what? A 5 star. I think this is going to do it for me. I really do. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And this book comes out in September. So, yeah, I think it's gonna do it for me. Next up is probably one of the newest releases that I own. This actually came in the mail, was it earlier this week or last week? I think it was last week. Anyway, that book is The Sky on Fire by Jenn Lyons, and I've never read from Jenn Lyons before, but I was interested in her first series. I just never picked that up. But with this being a standalone, I felt like I wanted to read this one first just because I'm in the middle of way too many series right now, and I feel like a standalone is what I need, like a quick get in and get out type situation. So let's read what this is about. Again, another character name I'm about to butcher. Enterod lives only for survival. forging her own way through the harsh jungles of the deep with her Titan Drake by her side. Even when an adventuring party saves her from capture by a local warlord, she is eager to return to her solitary life. But this is no ordinary rescue. It's Inarod's past catching up with her. These cunning misfits and their frustrating dragon rider ringleader intend to spirit her away to the dragon-ruled Sky Cities, where she is the key to their plan to steal from the world's most securely guarded hoard. There's only one problem. The hoard in question belongs to the current regent, Neveranimus. Anyway, and she wants Inarod dead. Soar into this daring standalone fantasy heist adventure full of conniving dragons, lightning banter, and high-stakes intrigue from the acclaimed author of A Course of Dragons series. First of all, you hate me at dragons. What you mean? I love a dragon. Oh my god, I love a dragon. Unfortunately, my favorite dragons come from a book and author that shall not be named on this channel, and that sucks. So I am on the search for some dragons that I can rant and rave about in a good way, and just that I can recommend and yap off about, because I love dragons. I love them so much. So I'm hoping that this will be able to replace that, which shall not be named. And yeah, I actually have not read a heist before, and I'm not sure that I'm a heist girl. I'm not, but I feel like everything else just sounded so good, and I do like found family. It's not one of my favorites, but I have liked it in the instances that I've read. So I think this could be it for me. I think. Again, this is me testing my taste to see if these are things that I actually like or things that I just want to like. So yeah. The next 5-star prediction that I have is A Queen's Game by Ari Lee, and this is described as a gripping tale of power, politics, and passion that will leave you guessing until the very last line. If you love Game of Thrones and the TV show Reign, you won't want to miss this epic adventure. It says, as war breaks out between nations, Marietta's abduction by an elven lord thrusts her into the center of the conflict. Forced to choose between freedom and vengeance, Marietta's fate becomes intertwined with those of Queen Valeria and Lady Elise, two powerful women with their own ambitions. I'm excited because I love Game of Thrones. Like, that's one of my favorite TV shows ever, period. Love Game of Thrones, and I actually did watch Reign. Did I finish it? No, but I enjoyed what I saw of it. I also love stories following women who are powerful, who are meticulous, who are planners, who are like badass politicers. Like, I absolutely eat that shit up. Even though I am not a vengeful person in real life, I love a revenge story. Eat it up. Love it. Like, get your revenge, get your lick back. So yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting. It sounds like it's going to be really heavy on the political intrigue, which is one of my favorite things that I've noticed so far. This sounds like it's going to be something right up my alley. So next up, we have another fantasy, and that is Bones to the Wind by Tatiana Obey. And I have also mentioned this book quite a few times on this channel already too. So yeah, your girl needs to just go ahead and get into it. But this sounds really exciting. I actually heard about this because Erin from Booked and Busy, and also Capri, what is her channel name? Is it Capri's Book Island or something like that? She and Erin did like a read along together, and they both had really good things to say about it. So I'm ready to give it a shot. And it says, Rasia is determined to destroy her old man's record in the forging, a trial each child must succeed to come of age. All Rasia needs to do is hunt down a Gonda, hitch its tentacle ass to her windship, and haul it back home in record time. Easy. Or it would be if Rasia wasn't stuck on the same team as Nico, a know-it-all spoiled grub worm who never does anything Rasia tells her to. Nico doesn't care about Razia's egotistical dreams of glory. This is her brother's last chance to pass the foraging, or her father is going to banish him from the family. She needs to scour the desert to find whatever team the bones place him on and help him kill Uganda before it kills him. Too bad Nico and Razia can't get along to steer a windship straight. This sounds really fun. Again, like I said, I love a trials, games, tournament type situation. And yeah, I just think that this sounds really cool. And I'm always down to support Black women writing fantasy. Why did I say that so slow? The struggle of this video. But anyway, yeah, I think this is something that I will really enjoy, and I don't really have any specific reason. It just sounds good. So we'll see. And finally, we have Masters of Blood by Carolina Wild. So this is about Princess Lavanna, the only heir to one of the most powerful rulers. Locked away in her father's royal palace, she had been tending to her gardens and her abundance of pets, patiently awaiting for the day when she was to become a queen. Her father arranges a marriage to the only other human king left. Lavanna has no choice but to agree. It is her duty as the princess and the future queen. But her perfectly planned future is suddenly threatened when the powerful and dangerous vampire ruler from the north kidnaps her during her engagement party. Masters of Blood is a fantastical and romantic Hades and Persephone retelling, perfect for fans of The Serpent and the Wings of Night. With seductive yet dangerous vampires, political court intrigue, and a dark high fantasy setting, it will keep you on the edge of your seat. Yes, yes, and yes. Give me vampires. Yes. Give me a high fantasy setting. Yes. Give me political court intrigue. Yes. Like, yeah. That's really all I have to say. And also, on top of that, give me a Hades and Persephone retelling. Like, 5 stars. Yeah. I'm ready to get into this. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. And I'm saying that, like, Erin, you could have picked the book up by now. Why aren't you reading the book? Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm going to read all these eventually. Like, it's going to happen. And I hope that I have more 5 stars on this list than not. And I'm especially hoping that I do not have to DNF any of these books on this list, because that would hurt me a little bit. And that would also make me then start to question my taste. Because if I don't know what I like, who gonna know? Who is going to help me? Anyway, so I am done yapping. Those are my 15 5-star predictions. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video and listening to me yap about all of these books. I had a great time talking about them, and I'm super reinvigorated and excited to pick these titles up. I hope you got some recommendations from this video, and if you have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought of them in the comments, what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them, just so I can get a better feel for them before I go in and actually read them. So thanks again for taking time out of your day to spend with me and watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Make sure you have the best day ever. Love you. Bye.